In this video, I'll show you how to create Project Kit NK1025. But first, let's go over some of the items that you'll need in order to create this necklace. In your kit, you'll see that you have 24 inches of this antique brass plated chain, item number CN749, 1 snap-on antique brass bail, item number BL446, 2 of these antique brass heart connectors, this item number is CN395, 9 6mm open antique brass jump rings, this is item number JR210, 1 antique brass magnetic clasp, this is item number CL2524, and last but not least, you'll have 16 inches of 24 gauge artistic wire in a gunmetal color, item number CW2413. Let's take a moment to look at the Swarovski crystals that are included in this kit. All of the bicones you see here are in a 4mm size. There are 5 sunflower bicones, item number AC4292, 4 fire opal, item number AC4327, 4 hyacinth, item number AC4236, 4 light cyan, item number AC4273, only 3 of the cyan bicones, item number AC4008. There are also 5 briolette pendants that are included in this kit, 2 of the smaller 11mm size, and this is item number BR5008, 3 of the larger 13mm size, and this is item number BR6008. Now that we've gone over all of the items that are included in the kit, let's get down to making this necklace. Take the 24-inch length of chain and open 2 jump rings with your chain and round nose pliers. Fit both of the jump rings through each of the last links at the end of the chain. Before closing, use one of these jump rings to attach 1/2 of the clasp to your necklace. Close both of the jump rings completely. Use your chain nose pliers to open up the back of the bail slightly. Take both of your heart connectors, flip one over, and then match them up back to back so that each side has a front facing, just like this. Attach both of the circle heart connectors to the bail, and what you'll do is you'll find the top of one of these hearts and simply slip the bail on front to back. Now at this point, use your chain nose pliers to flatten the open tab to the back of the bail. And sometimes it helps to even take your chain nose pliers and grab that small bit of bail right here and pull that closed, as opposed to taking both lengths of the bail and pressing them together. Take your 16-inch length of wire, and if you have to, take a cloth and quickly run along the length of the wire so it straightens out. We're not looking for this wire to be perfectly straight at this point because we're going to do something called wire lashing. To start, you'll take the end of your wire and your chain nose pliers and make a very small bend with the end of the wire. I wouldn't go any further than maybe a 1/2 inch off the end of the wire. Take this portion and go right through that same opening that you went through with your bail. Now take your chain nose pliers, keeping in mind that this is the back of the pendant. You're not going to see this part of it, so simply tuck the tail underneath like so. Now this is the portion where you can decide whether or not to work with the full 16-inch length of wire, or you can cut your wire down into 2 8-inch lengths of wire. Simply pull the wire out, measure with your eye the halfway mark, cut it, work with that, and then when you run out of wire again, you'll secure that second half of the wire just as you did this first half. So I have the end of my wire, and I have my first sunflower bicone that is going onto my wire. Look through the whole length of your wire and make sure that you don't have any large kinks in the wire. This will hold up the bicone from moving all the way down the wire to your connectors. Also, keep in mind too that your connectors aren't very connected to one another at this point. They will press together the more that you lash bicones to it. So in the beginning, I like to try to keep my non-dominant hand, or in this case my left hand, holding on to the 2 heart connectors, not any kind of death grip, just holding them nice and tight so that I can get a good feel of where my bicone is supposed to lay and how I'm supposed to bring my wire around and through. Now I'm going to take the end of my wire, and here's the easy part. I'm going to go through the center of both of these heart connectors, just like so. One thing to keep in mind when you are wire lashing is you want to move with the wire. By that I mean you don't want to yank or pull your wire through because that will just kink it up. When you come to this small portion where you have just a little bit more of the wire to go, you can gently guide it along like so, you can see that I'm using my index finger on my dominant hand and my thumb to gently pull the wire. Notice I'm not staying in one place and just pulling the wire along. I'm actually running my fingers along the length of the wire and pulling it through the two connectors that way. After you're done with your first bicone, yeah, your wire will back up just a tiny bit. That's okay, that's expected. It will be secured with the next bicone that you lash on. So now you see that I have my non-dominant hand right here. I'm pressing my thumb up against the base of that bicone because I don't want the wire to back out any further and I want to keep my bicone in place. With my dominant hand, I take the end of the wire and I'm going to come up back to front through the next heart that you see right here in the connector. Same as before, you're gently going to pull the wire through, and then at the very end I'm running my fingers along the length of the wire to pull it so that it's tight against the back of the connector like so. So now let's continue. We'll thread on 2 more sunflower bicones followed by 2 hyacinth, 2 fire opal, and then we'll get into light cyan, cyan down here at the bottom, and then repeat the pattern but going backwards for the other side of the connector. We won't stop lashing until we've reached this last heart connector just off to the left of the first bicone that you threaded on. Now with this very last bicone that you thread on, you may need the use of your chain nose pliers to actually bring that wire up and through, but the same thing applies. Pull the wire through, take your index finger and your thumb, and then pull that end of the wire as tight as you can. You may actually put a small bend in the wire, and that's fine. You can always take that bend out. Thread on the last bicone, and then take the wire around and through as you've done many times before, and now the remainder of your wire is sticking out of the back of the pendant. We only need 1/4 inch of this wire to finish, so I'll just snip the excess wire off. Now with your chain nose pliers, what you'll do is you'll pull the wire nice and tight, and you'll do a sharp 90-degree angle bend with that wire. Cut half of the length of wire again. Now you're left with a very small tail. It's almost hard to see, but it's right here. Take your chain nose pliers again, and this time you're going to take that wire end and tuck it right into the back of that heart connector. Did you see that? Took it and I tucked it right in there just like that. Now you can take the jaw of your chain nose pliers and you can press that wire so that it's flat against the back of that heart connector. Keep in mind that the actual wire tail is tucked in between both of these heart connectors, so there's nothing left to snag on your clothing or irritate your skin as you wear this necklace. My 2 heart connectors are nice and tight up against one another thanks to all of the wire lashing that I've done. My pattern looks pretty good, all of my bicones are on there nice and tight, and now we can move on to using the jump rings to attach all of the bicone pendants here to the base of this pendant. Pick up your pendant and notice what hole your bail is attached to. Draw an imaginary line right across the pendant. You'll locate your center hole at the base of this part of the pendant. The 3 large briolette pendants will be in the middle with the 2 smaller ones on the outside of those 3. Attach each of these briolettes to the base of the pendant and then do a quick double check to make sure that all of the jump rings used are closed securely. To attach this pendant to the chain that you completed in step number 1, take that free end of the chain that has just the jump ring attached to it. Pick up your pendant and then slide the jump ring through the bail, like so. And if you need to, use your chain nose to help you out on this step, and then pull the chain all the way through. I'm going to use these extra 2 jump rings to reinforce what I've already done here and secure my clasp further. So before I do that, let me take this last jump ring and just finish off my necklace by attaching this to the other side of that magnetic clasp. So there you go. If you want to stop at this point, your necklace is finished. If you want to continue on and do that last reinforcing step, here's how you do it. Take the second to last jump ring, and just like before, you're going to go through that connector loop on the magnetic clasp, and you will also go through the last link in the chain. Now repeat this same step over here on the other side of the necklace, and you'll be officially done. So there you have it. Our clasp is done, our pendant is complete, and all of our briolette pendants are hanging down here at the base of the pendant. Congratulations, you've finished project kit number NK1025.